Hey everybody, how's it going? Marcos Vegas for Fight Hub TV, powered by stagefront VIP, being joined with Steven Espinoza, one of the 50 most influential people in boxing, according to Forbes. What's up, Steven? How are you?
I'm good. I wanted numbers. I wanted to be able to debate. Like, they took the easy way out of just a list. I wanted ranked numbers so we could start getting into arguments.
Well, at least they put your picture on yours.
Right, that's true. That's true, yeah.
Hey man, I don't know, this interview's gonna go all over the place. I got so many things on my mind. First off, what's all this beef with Dana? Is it stemming from the Mayweather-McGregor thing? Is that where it all started?
I don't know. I was minding my own business and got hit with an FU from him. I don't know where it came from. I think I must have touched a nerve with him. I mean, the thing I said yesterday wasn't even really intended for him, or even as a response, to UFC. I was stating a fact. The fact is, boxing has an incredible year. They've done these massive gates, like these massive historic events, and just put it in perspective. I'm just saying, look, this is how hard it is to get a $20 million gate. It's not something that UFC has ever done. I'm sure that at some point in the future, they will, but they haven't yet. For some reason, me stating facts hit a nerve with him. I guess he doesn't like the truth, so he came back with a bunch of name calling. So, what it's turned into now is me stating facts, him calling me names. It's sort of like a fourth grade discussion. It's not something I'm really that interested in. I'm not going to engage in a battle of wits with somebody who's unarmed. If that's your only response is to call me all sorts of curse words, more power to you. I'm sure your publicly traded company is very proud of your behavior on social media.
Yeah, it started like a few months ago with him saying like the production and all that stuff, and I know it came out kind of like left field for me too. But I'm wondering, like, was your guys' experience with Mayweather-McGregor like a good one, or was it something where like both of you guys kind of like came off like, screw this guy, I don't want to work with this guy again?
I mean, look, obviously, Conor and I, right? Conor has his differences of me. I have nothing against him. But UFC really wasn't involved in the event. The production, the promotion, all of that, so there really wasn't any issue there, and I think it turned out successfully for everybody. So candidly, I'm not sure where it came from. I mean, he's got some views. He had some comparison about the production of slap fighting versus production of boxing pay-per-view, and I hope he'd be aware of it. Those are apples and oranges. They're not comparable. So he's got his view on things. There are critics of his view. There are critics of my view. That's fine. He's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to post it, graphically on social media. That's fine. I'm a big boy.
Yeah, well, yesterday, I think last night, he posted his little response and everything like that. In terms of just going on with the future with all that, is it ever possible you guys come to the table, shake hands, and be like, hey, let's work on like big events? I'm not the one who's sort of cursing anybody out, or insulting anybody. So the reality is, like, if stating facts is going to be so threatening, then, maybe it'll be hard for him to work with me, but, I got no problem working with him again. This right here, big event, Canelo versus Charlo. I've been wanting to ask you this. How did you get this deal with Canelo? I know he was a free agent, but like, how were you able to take him away from the previous company he was with, DAZN and all that, and structure this deal? Because to me, that's a really interesting part, and that kind of shows like your business savvy as to how to be able to get him after you left from Showtime to DAZN and back over here.
Yeah, well, I got to give a lot of credit to PBC, to Al Heyman directly, really led those discussions in approaching and figuring out what Canelo wanted and what the outlook was. And I think our role in this is really providing our expertise and our reputation, and regardless of what others from other industries say, we are the leader in pay-per-view. There is no one who does bigger and better pay-per-view events than us. And I think that is ultimately what drew Canelo here. Certainly there's a lot of talent in PBC that is available to him. And we have expertise, demonstrated expertise, in making these pay-per-view events bigger than anyone else can. So I think the combination of the talent and the promotional and marketing expertise, it seemed to be a pretty easy decision as the best possible home for him for the near future.
Now, at the end of the day, we're all fans of the sport. We want to see the best fight the best. And when this deal happened, I think 99% of the people were like, okay, please, are we going to get Canelo versus Benavidez at some point in these 3 fights? Could you say that speaking with Eddie Reynoso, speaking with Canelo, that they do want to have a fight with David, that this deal at some point, if it's fight number 2 or the last fight, that we're going to see him and David Benavidez?
Yeah, I think all these fights are possibilities, and Canelo and Eddie have said that they're open to all of them. I mean, there really hasn't been a plan in terms of how they lay out and who the next opponent is. Canelo's very focused on just this fight. But look, I think Benavidez is going about the right way. He has said from the very start, if I can't get Canelo, I'll clean out the rest of the division. And whether it's Plant and then Andrade and then Morrell, or Plant, Morrell, Andrade, he's trying to eliminate everybody else. So he's the last man standing, and then he would sort of be unavoidable for Canelo at 168.
If I had your role, these last 2 fights after this one, things kind of go screwy if Canelo loses, but I would go, let's make the Crawford fight. It sounds crazy, but there's a lot of huge business there that people are going to want to see that. How likely is it that we see that if Canelo wins?
Look, there was a lot of chatter around it initially. Terence said, hey, a catch weight. Canelo said, no, I'm not going to, why, he's too small. Why would I go down? But then
he said he's fine. He's
yeah.
fine with it, yeah.
And then they both cleared it up, and I think it's because of the magnitude of the opportunity. I mean, clearly fans are interested. I think it's a huge financial opportunity for them. So I think if the fans want it, if the fight makes sense, then I think it's very doable. It's really up to Canelo and where he wants to go after this.
I would imagine you're going to have a conversation with him about this after, right, if he does win.
Yeah, if that's it, and he wants to go that direction, or but I don't discount Charlo. It's hard to pick against Canelo in any fight, given his resume. But I think Charlo is a guy who can give him problems at this stage.
And then the last fight, it's like writing itself. He gets these fights, and the last fight is David, and like whatever happens, whatever happens.
I think it's interesting. And look, by the same token, but if things fall a different way, regardless of the outcome, we could end up with Crawford versus Charlo.
They're going to say Benavidez. I'm like,
No, I wouldn't go that far. But, even if Canelo goes in a different direction, win or lose, Canelo's really intriguing fight. Look, there's plenty of guys at 54.
To end this out now, Steven, just what happens after the 3 fight? I would imagine you guys are going to re-engage Canelo and try to re-sign him, or is it kind of like a touch-and-go thing?
No, I think, look, he's doing, I think, what a smart businessman does, and that is, look at the opportunities. What are the best opportunities, the best relationships? He's being flexible, jumping around. So I think he gets through the 3 fights. He looks at the landscape. What are the biggest and best opportunities? And that's where he'll go. And if I had to guess right now, you look at the talent pool around 168, and I think, PBC has more talent there than anybody. So I think it would be really attractive for him to continue. If there's unfinished business with any of those guys, this is probably the place to do it.
You got to do it for the fans, Canelo and Benavidez. I know you listen. You can't let him go and not do that fight.
No, it is an intriguing one. I mean, stylistically, it's a big challenge. And look, I have full confidence it will happen. Canelo has never run from any fight. In fact, he takes fights regularly that people tell him not to. Going all the way back, people said, don't take the Austin Trout fight, before you might get Mayweather, and he did. And he does that over again, or Erislandy Lara. People are telling him not to take that fight. Yeah, that's the obvious one as well. So the reality is, no, it's Canelo doesn't run for anybody. He's not going to run from that. And so, David Benavidez, proves he's the guy to beat at 168. Then I think that fight's going to happen.
Steven, we'll chat more, but I appreciate this time. Appreciate it, Steven Espinoza, Marcos Villegas, here in Las Vegas this weekend. Jermell Charlo, Canelo Alvarez, tussling on pay-per-view.